What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the stream. Figured we just have a little chit chat today, whatever you guys want to talk about. I don't have anything really planned for this live stream. Figured we could dish about the Mariners, the Seahawks. Just going to wait a few minutes for some people to come in here. Nancy, I see your comment. The Twins must beat the Astros. We'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in the Twins winning that series. I think Houston will likely win, but we'll see what happens there. Anything you guys want to go over? Obviously, I've done a few videos on the Jerry DiPoto interviews, kind of over it now at this point. Like, the results have got to show that they can get this thing turned around more than the comments. So if you guys want to talk about that, throw some questions my way, go for it. Seahawks as well. We can talk Seahawks 3-1 on the season. Bye week this week. Hopefully some time for the Seahawks to get healthy and to get right. So certainly a lot to talk about there. I don't know if I really have anything else going on. Cool Breeze, how you doing? Welcome in, my friend. Hope you are doing well. I am doing great. Kind of a slow, it's weird without my Mariners post games. You know, those were kind of my set in stone. I knew what to talk about. I can talk about the Seahawks every day, but they're on bye week. The Mariners are just in a lull time right now. Season's over. Press conferences are done. I do have a Mariners season recap that I'm going to do. I just needed a little break from the Mariners before I dove into that too much. So, hopefully that'll be up soon for you guys as well, so we can go over the Mariners season. I guess I can kind of start with that. I'll go into kind of a Mariners season recap here a little bit. And if you guys want to chime in with other stuff, go for it. So I guess we'll call this the Mariners season recap stream. Let's see. Here we go. We got a couple questions here. There we go. Thank you guys. Appreciate it, because you guys are going to carry this stream. How you doing? Duke Coda, Cool Breeze, the Gamer, welcome in. You think it's possible Mariners have a shot at Jose Ramirez? No. I don't. I mean, nothing's impossible. But the Rangers, the Guardians just signed Ramirez to a big deal. I can't imagine he's really the only player they have that's going to bring in fans and get tickets going for them. I just can't imagine they're going to trade Jose Ramirez. No, I'll never say never to anything, but I don't think that'll be the case. I know Morosi brought that up. I think it's more of a pipe dream than anything. I'd love it. I'd love Jose Ramirez here, but no, I don't think that'll happen. Cool Breeze says, I missed the Mariners, missed the post games too. DiPoto gave us. Yes, he did. I will give it that. You know what? I should give Jerry some credit, because he gave me something to talk about for 2 days. If it was just a normal, boring post game session, then there wouldn't have been anything, or postseason, end of season conference, there would have been less to talk about. So I'll give Jerry some credit for that, for giving me some conversations. No way we get Ramirez. Yeah, I don't think there is either. I'm going to say our best shot is Ohtani, Soto, or Bellinger. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I'm going to go through and try and see guys that I think they'll acquire. Soto would certainly be interesting via trade. We know Jerry likes to make the trades, so I imagine he'll be in on that. Would love Ohtani. It's going to be tough because you're going to be competing with all the LA teams and everything like that, so I don't know. Bellinger would be interesting as well, as a DH or something like that for sure. Did the Blue Jays look worse against Minnesota than they did against Seattle last year? Yes. You know what? I don't know. I didn't watch the games against the Twins, so I shouldn't say. CK888, welcome into the chat, by the way. So I don't know if they necessarily did. They certainly didn't blow a big lead against the Twins, but they definitely looked like a team that was ready for the offseason to begin, that's for sure. Reflect, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, it would say yes. TGI Friday, yes, although I work Saturdays, but I agree, TGI Fridays. Jerry and ownership, fans have to really put the pressure on these guys to spend. Listen, and you saw my videos, and I hope you're having a great day, Reflect. They need to do more. Like, last offseason was not good enough. I don't want them to just spend to spend either. They got to be smart. I'm not going into this saying just spend the money wherever, but they've got to start adding some pieces here. They've got to put this team, they have a good core, They've got to take that core and find a way to get it over the top. This team needs to be a World Series contender. The last few years were fun. I enjoyed 2021 or 2021, 2022. And even this year had its moments, but I want a team that is a true World Series contender, not just a team that's having to fight all the way just to make the playoffs. And listen, I do think there were some things with the Mariners in the offseason that was, out of their hands a little bit, a bit unlucky. I made a video last offseason or during this past offseason. I said the Mariners had a good offseason. I was incorrect. They did not. It was not good enough. With that said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but even if you didn't like the Colton Wong signing, I don't think anybody thought Colton Wong was going to be the worst player in baseball. That was a bit unfortunate for the team. I think Wong should have been an upgrade over Adam Frazier. Unfortunately, he wasn't. AJ Pollock has been a really good hitter against left-handed, very good hitter against left-handed pitching. He was atrocious this year. So, but that's, but they got to get better. Mega Drive, Pete Alonso. Yep, Alonso would probably be more realistic than Ramirez. I don't know what the Mets' plan is there. I know they got a really good haul from the Astros on the Verlander trade. And stuff like that. So we'll see. But Pete Alonso may be someone on the market, and I'm all for it. I'm all for right now. Sign, trade prospects, do what you have to do. I want that next step. And I'm not saying, I would never say throw away the farm, but for a guy like Pete Alonso, that could be the difference between this team getting in the World Series or not. Cool Breeze, curious on your temperature of the AL West for next year. I don't think 90 will get it done. We need 94 plus and avoid a wild card. I certainly want to start winning division titles. That is for sure. I can't give you a read on the AL West right now until the offseason. I mean, who knows? The Angels could go out and make 20 moves and be in contention. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll have to wait for the offseason and see what these teams do before really going in on my expectations. But yeah, listen, I mean, I'll take a wild card. I'd rather get in than not get in, but I want division titles. I want this team to be feared. I want this to be a team that is ready to take that next step and be a legitimate World Series contender. Ohtani, go for bro. I'm all for it, James. I'm all for it. Welcome into the chat, my friend. Listen, I don't care if Ohtani can't pitch in 2024. I mean, do your best to get him. Obviously, there's going to be other suitors, for sure. But, go all in. DH, and then if he can pitch in 2025, great. Reflex says, do you think it's possible to just add Ohtani, maybe a bullpen piece, pencil in Canzone, and hope his league leading 354 AA bat will translate into right field? I would not just turn the keys over to Canzone for any position. That may end up being what they have to do. But to me, even Jared Kelenic is not guaranteed a starting position in my eyes next year. He had a great April, and that was about it. I'm not guaranteeing. The only people in my mind that are guaranteed starting jobs next year, Julio, JP, Cal, and that might be it. Now, I'm not saying the whole roster is going to get turned over, but other than that, you look for improvements anywhere you can get it. I think you can add a bullpen piece. I think if you added a bullpen piece and Ohtani and kept the roster the same, you're going to have a good baseball team. I don't know if that alone is enough. We'll have to see. It would certainly be a good improvement, though. I think, you said Orioles. The Houston Oilers, Austin, winning the World Series. I like it. Yeah, I'd be fine with Baltimore. Arizona, Minnesota, Philadelphia, for my wife's a Phillies fan, so I wouldn't mind seeing them win it. Those would be kind of the teams I'm for. Mariners, hopefully they do this offseason, James. That's what I'm hoping for. That they do have a little sense of urgency because it's time. It's time. They've done a nice job getting the team to this point, but now it's time to take that next step. That next step is hard. It's sometimes easy to take a terrible team and make them competitive. How can this team make the next step? Hopefully they show that sense of urgency. Oh, no problem, man. Happy to do it. I get it, man. And that's why I want to do these, because it helps me get it off my chest to talk about it. Trevor, welcome in. Honestly, I think just having some bats above league average would be great, like Teoscar from 2 years ago or Wong last year. Listen, if they would have gotten the Teo of last year, the Colton Wong from last year, I think they may have won the division. That was a huge, like I said, I'll defend them a little bit. I don't think anybody expected Colton Wong, even if you didn't like the Colton Wong trade. I mean, no one thought he was going to be like probably the worst hitter in the American League. It's probably what he was. I don't think anybody predicted that. So that was a bit unfortunate. But, it's the risk you run when you go after kind of these middling players like Colton Wong. Colton Wong's a nice baseball player, at least he was up until last year. But you need, and I'm going to use this word lightly, but you need those alphas. You need the Pete Alonsos, the Shohei Ohtanis, guys that are truly, truly going to elevate this team, not more platoon bats. I'm not, they need to make some other additions. I'm not saying you can't fill out the roster with Colton Wongs and AJ Pollocks, as the gamer says, and I agree with you, no more of those. I'm okay with those filling out the roster. If you can go and get Pete Alonso, Shohei, Soto, whatever it is, you need to fill out the roster. And that's where the Dylan Moores, the Sam Haggertys are fine. They should be on the roster, but they should not be your primary goal in this offseason to acquire those type of guys. Are bullpens the equivalent of running back room in the NFL? Yeah, I would. That's actually a decent analogy. You can never trust bullpen guys year to year. There's some years that, wasn't it like Cleveland's bullpen a few years ago where like 1 year it had the lowest ERA and they brought back the same bullpen and it was like the worst ERA in baseball? Bullpens are weird. They're unpredictable. You got to assume Munoz, Brash are probably going to be pretty solid, but it wouldn't be the crazy bullpen pieces because you just never know. Hannah, thank you for the updates here. We've got the ALDS beginning tomorrow. Texas, Baltimore, Minnesota, and Houston begin tomorrow. Going up against football, that should be tough for baseball. Austin says, I understand what Jerry meant with some of his comments, but the way he says things, it can be the worst way of saying it. Could not agree more, Austin. I think you're spot on. I didn't have a problem. Even his 54% thing, it makes sense what he's trying to say. He just worded it poorly. And obviously didn't come across. And listen, Jerry was up there for 2 hours talking. If I were to talk for 2 hours, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth at some point too. It just came off very condescending. His points weren't wrong. It was the kind of the condescending tone. Apparently we had one of the worst benches in the league. I don't know if they had one of the worst necessarily. I don't think Dylan Moore, Sam Haggerty, Caballero are bad baseball players necessarily. I like Tom Murphy. They just can't be, I don't know. It's a good point. I don't know if it was one of the worst or if it was just, it was relied on too much. I don't know, and right now we're all kind of all over the place with the team a little bit, but I don't know if I'd call it one of the worst. I'm sure Oakland, Kansas City, and all those teams were much worse, but I hear you. Hunter says no Huskies or Seahawks this weekend. Shames, Mariners. Yeah, and Hunter, that was the thing. I was like, if the Mariners were to make the playoffs, I was super excited because I'm like, hey, that first week, the Seahawks are off. I'm not a Huskies fan, but I respect what they're doing on the field. It's going to be great because we're going to be able to focus just on playoff baseball and not worry about football. But now we got a week of nothing. Trevor, welcome in, my friend. Hope you are having a great Friday night. What are your thoughts on what seems to be DePoto's opinion that we really only need one middle of the order bat and maybe a tail replacement if he leaves Seattle? Great question. Appreciate it. I don't think Jerry's wrong. I don't. I'm assuming they're going to give Teo a qualifying offer. If he takes it, then cool. We get a year of Teo cheap. If not, you get the draft pick out of it and let Teo walk. I'm fine with that overall. So I don't think he's wrong. I think one more solid middle of the order bat, whether that's an Ohtani, a Soto, someone like that, and then a right field replacement. I think that, listen, I think this is a good team. They've just got to get from, the Braves and Dodgers and stuff are here. The Mariners are kind of doing this. They got to get here. And I don't think it's going to take much, but it's going to take a name. It's going to take somebody that can hit in that middle of the order, drive in runs, and just be, a solid middle of the order guy, in my opinion. Appreciate the question. Reflect asked, do I think Kirby will bring back that wicked knuckleball? Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool pitch. We'll see. Maybe it's something he adds to the repertoire a little bit. That thing was nasty. It just shows you how talented these guys are. I mean, George Kirby can just be like, yeah, I'm going to throw a knuckleball one pitch, and it's like one of the nastiest pitches of the season. That these guys' talents, are just off the charts amazing. National League playoffs beginning as well here. We've got the Phillies and the Braves, a rematch of last year in the DS, and then Dodgers and D-backs, interesting series that will both begin tomorrow. Austin asked, do you and your wife watch NBA and NHL by any chance? If so, what are your favorite teams? I do not watch the NBA. I was falling out of love with the NBA even before the Sonics left, unfortunately. So I don't watch the NBA. I love hockey. I am an Arizona Coyotes fan. It's a long story, but when I was young, I had a lot of family in Arizona. Seattle didn't have a team, and a lot of my family was hyped because the Winnipeg Jets were coming to Arizona. They became the Coyotes. That became my team. And unfortunately, I am stuck with the Coyotes. So that's my team. Thanks for the question, though. Trevor again asked, I think adding what Jerry described, having Gino and Ty come back to career average hitting or above might help a ton. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Good point. I was talking about Colton Wong and everything that went wrong there. I mean, Ty France had his worst season. There was a lot that went wrong that, I think are kind of out of Jerry and Justin and Scott's control this year. And they still managed 88 wins. I do give them credit for that. I don't know if I trust Ty, that I want him on the roster next year. Sounds like he's going to go to Driveline with JP. That's awesome. Hopefully Ty can find it and get good and get better. So we'll see. It's a lot of things that can happen. Yes, go Yotes. And I know you're a Kings fan there, Dakota. So got to support my Yotes, baby. Got to do it. Divine Comedy says, if you want to vibe, that's anti-Mariners. Check out the Seahawks defense, cornerbacks, advanced metrics. LOB is back, baby. Love it. And yes, you're right, Divine. If you look at DVOA, it's not on Football Outsiders anymore. I don't know where DVOA went. It's on some other site that Aaron Schatz runs. They are 13th in defensive DVOA, which is a massive improvement. That's opponent adjusted. And if you look at pass rush win rates and stuff, there's a lot of good things trending for the Seahawks defense. So really excited about the Hawks. They have been a lot of fun this year. Hannah apologizes for it's okay. I'm not suffering. I'm having a good life, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that. She loves going to hockey, Austin. She's not watching the games with me religiously. Even I don't watch hockey every night. It's probably the sport I'm the most casual fan about, to be honest. So, and you got to have one sport that you casually watch, because I come on here and I talk about baseball, I talk about football. And sometimes when you're that invested in a sport, you can lose sight of the fun that sports are supposed to bring. So hockey is the one sport I couldn't break down. I mean, I know the rules, but I couldn't tell you like, oh, the advanced metrics say Clayton Keller is doing. I don't know. I just watch it and I enjoy it. But to answer your question as I go on a tangent, she loves the sport, but no, she doesn't watch it religiously. Thank you. I'll reflect that as a dope signed Easley jersey. Who saw? Oh, so the Easley jersey. Yes. Thank you very much for the comment on that. It's one of my favorite collections I have. And the hat is signed by Taiwan Walker. I went to the D-backs Phillies game this year and he was signing, and my kids wanted to get autographs and they didn't have anything to have signed. So I was like, here, he used to play for the Mariners. Take the hat and have him sign that. So that's what that was. Hunter says Witherspoon is the real deal. Reminds me of Earl Thomas. Ooh, that's a great comparison. He is. He's kind of that same size too. He's fast, shifty. I like that comp. I like it. I think that's a pretty fair comparison. And boy, does Witherspoon lay down the lumber too. Ooh, heavy hitter. I didn't realize what a heavy hitter he was. I loved the stuff I saw of him in college, but man, can he hit? Can he hit? Mita Master, did I say that correct? Do we need an upgrade over Gino in 2024 for third base? Possibly Jose Ramirez. I don't think they're going to get Jose Ramirez. To be honest, I don't see the Guardians trading him. They just signed him to a big deal. So I don't expect Jose Ramirez to be a Mariner. To answer your question, I am all for upgrading anywhere possible. I'm not against Gino being back. His bat is okay. And if the power can come back a little bit, and he's a great defensive player. So I'm not against Geno on the roster. But if there's a way you can upgrade third base, then you do it. If that's Jose Ramirez and they have a chance to pull the trigger on that trade, then absolutely. Like, I think it's one of those off seasons where, like I said, outside of Julio, JP, Cal, and some of the pitchers, I don't think anybody should be safe. I don't think there's any player that should feel like they're locked in. Now, they're not going to have all new positions, obviously, but or all new players at all these positions. But I think everybody should be cautious of if their job's on the line or not. I'm talking about, oh, yeah. Hannah, trust me, the Coyotes don't even make me bat an eye anymore. Like, the Mariners, I suffered through it. The Coyotes, it's more casual for me. I enjoy the sport of hockey. And if they're good, great. If they're bad, then I watch a few games here and there. So it's not quite like football or baseball, but I do appreciate the sentiment. I can't believe I'm saying hopefully the Cowboys beat the Niners on Sunday. I know, who'd have thought that? We're rooting for the Cowboys, but I'm looking forward to that game. That is going to be game of the year so far, Cowboys at Niners. Looking forward to that one for sure. And yeah, go Cowboys, definitely. Yes, we got a little hockey. I guess you could call us rivals for hockey. I don't know if the Coyotes rival anybody, but I hope you are excited for hockey season. Oh, you're talking to Dakota. I thought that's who made the comment. Yeah. Oh, cool. So we got a couple Kings fans in here. I'm a big Kopitar fan. Always enjoyed his game. Ever since the Kraken came into league, I've gotten super into hockey. I like my hockey more than baseball now. Hockey is a lot of fun. And Hunter, I don't know if you've been to a game yet, but it's probably the most fun sport to go to in person, in my opinion. Play San Francisco supporters, my family absolutely despise. It's cool to see the Cowboys-Niners rivalry back. When I grew up, Cowboys-Niners was the ticket. You had to watch Cowboys and 49ers. So it's really cool that rivalry's come back a bit. So a little nostalgia for me on that. Yeah, Austin, for me with basketball, you said that makes sense. I'm a casual basketball fan. It's a sport I just watch casually. I'll turn on like the NBA finals and the playoff games. Nothing else is on. I'm like, oh, okay, let's check it out. I love March Madness. I fill out a bracket every year. Could not name you one person that plays on any college basketball teams, but I do love March Madness. Sun Bob, welcome in, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I didn't mean to close the comment there. Greetings, bud. Sorry I'm late. You're fine, my friend. Welcome in. What 3 positions do you think should absolutely be upgraded? Ooh, good question. And I hate giving a cop-out answer for this. I'm going to take off my headphones. I don't know why I have them on. I don't need them for anything. I hate to give a cop-out answer on this, but like I said, outside of center field, shortstop, and catcher, I think everybody could be upgraded. I think DH is a spot where you want someone a little bit, whether that's someone that can be DH outfield, whatever it is. I think you look for an upgrade there. I would love to see an upgrade at first base. I'm okay with Ty being back if they make additions elsewhere. Like if you go get Ohtani, Soto or something, and then you want to run Ty out there and hope he bounces back, that's fine. So I don't really know. They just need to get better. I know it's kind of a cheap answer, but I don't really care where. I don't care if that's starting pitching. A run saved is just as good as a run earned. So they just need to find upgrades. And wherever that may be, then, that's what they need to do, if that makes any sense. Now, if the default profile photo for my fantasy gridiron team, San Francisco, also my team is somewhat based upon that. You're kind of, you got every region covered, I feel like, for sports. Mira Master, sorry about my dog barking, guys. Says should we be concerned about Julio, how he ended his season 1 for 20, and how he didn't say anything about Cal's comments or statements as the season ended? No, Julio needs to be more consistent. I think we need to. Julio's overall numbers ended up being great. He started, he finished like 5th or something in F4 in the American League. So overall, Julio had a nice season. I just want to see it more consistent. I want to see better April, May, and June. That hot August was amazing, but I want to see a little more consistency from Julio overall. Not worried that he didn't address the comments. I think only JP and Logan said anything about it. I'm worried about how he finished the season in the sense of it hurt the Mariners this year, but going into next year, no, it's not something I'm too concerned about. Although Julio needs to be more consistent, needs to be a little bit better controlling that strike zone. I think there were some serious Javier Baez swings in September. I will say that. Oh, sorry. Hockey is way more entertaining to watch in person than baseball. Oh, yeah. It's amazing how hard people get checked into the boards. You don't realize it until you're there. Wesley, welcome in, my friend. Hope you're doing well. A Mariners fan first. I like the Blazers, Kraken, Seahawks, mostly Mariners. Yeah, I'm Mariners, Seahawks. Whichever team's playing is where I'm at, number one. And then hockey is a distant third. Trevor says, Kraken games are great. Climate Pledge Arena is great too. Fantastic venue. Yeah, I wish maybe next time in Seattle, I will try and catch a game there. Definitely looks like a great arena. And I'm really, really, I guess proud wouldn't be the right word, but it's really cool how Seattle's embraced hockey. Not surprised. Seattle is a truly great sports town. I mean, look at even how this city has embraced the Mariners. We've seen the Seahawks and then the Kraken too is really cool to see. Surrounded by basketball, my family, that's part of the reason I felt a favor with it. That's interesting. The basketball family. I used to love the NBA and NBC in the 90s. We were watching every game. I remember Sundays, you had that early morning game like the Knicks and the Pacers, and you had Jordan versus the Lakers Sunday afternoon. It was always fun, but it just, I don't know, kind of fell out of flavor with it. It says, I want Seawald back if they can get him. I think Seawald has an option for next year, I believe, to be picked up. I imagine he'll be back with Arizona next year. I mean, they need to add a bullpen piece, whether that's Paul or somebody else. I'm not too worried about it. Bullpens, I mean, they found Justin Topa off the scrap heap. They found Gabe Spire off the scrap heap. They found Paul Sewald off the scrap heap. So I have faith that they'll find the right guys for the bullpen. Sun Bob says, LL, Cougs the only local team playing this week, and the game should show us. Who are they playing this week? Who are the Cougars taking on? I think they're playing UCLA or USC this week, I want to say, on that one. It says, my team name is Clementine's Demise, by the way. Like it. I like it. NBA became too much about Super. Yeah, Austin, I think that's really what had me fall out of favor with the NBA. It has become so dominated by individuals that you can just sign, I say this like casually, but you sign LeBron and you're in the NBA finals, and it's gone away from being a team game and it's become so individually driven. And it's just like, there's some teams just have no chance. It's not even competitive. And then, and then even the playoffs, like there's just the 8 seeds are a joke. So the first round's a mess. And at the end who the best teams are. I don't know. I just can't watch it much anymore. So, okay, UCLA got it. Irish says, let's go Astros. Irish, welcome in. You are the one Astros. Well, there's a couple. I got a few pretty solid Astros supporters. Good luck to you this weekend. I actually think Houston's going to get into the World Series. They're a team that's been there, done that. I think they beat Minnesota, and I don't trust Baltimore or Texas pitching against Houston. So I actually do think you guys get into the World Series. Just my take. I know Mariners fans won't like it, but it's a prediction. So there it is. Do you think 2024 is a make or break season for Jared Kelenic? Do you think he'll become an all-star next 3-5 years? Good question. Appreciate it. Made a master. How old is Kelenic? 23, 24? I don't think you should give up on anybody that's that young. Jared Kelenic could definitely have a breakout season. With that said, I also am not just going to hand a starting position over to Jared Kelenic next year. If you take away his April, which shouldn't do, his April counts. But boy, if you take away that April, Jared Kelenic was pretty blech this year again. It was certainly better than we've seen in years past from Kelenic, and that's encouraging. I don't know if I would say I see him being an all-star. He definitely has value, but he's another one that I'm not just handing him a starting job next year. I'm not saying he won't be in the plans, but if you can get someone in left field that's better, then you go do it. In my opinion, I'm kind of done waiting around. Like 2019, 2020, 2021, even 2022 a little bit. I was fine letting younger guys develop, letting them take the next step. But now you got to go win this thing. Now you've got to go win it. We tasted the playoffs. We tasted the pie. Good is not good enough anymore, essentially. Says, absolute lack of, lack of parity in the NBA. In all case, team with the most star power always goes furthest. Exactly. And then half of them take the regular season off and they get the 4 seed, then they just cruise in the playoffs. So it just become, really tough. Cool Breeze says, I saw a stat on the disparity of the new MLB wild card format. Any thoughts on last couple of years? I like the new wild card. I like that the division gets you a bye. I think that's pretty cool that winning your division allows you some extra time off. I think division winners should be rewarded. Not all division winners do, but the top 2 seeds, like the old football format. It's essentially the same thing as football with the old 6-team format. I like it. I think it's fair. I think the top 2 teams get the bye week, essentially. I think that's cool. I'm fine with the new playoff format. It's not too much where you have so many teams getting in. What I don't want the MLB to become is like the NBA and the NHL, where you get like half the league makes the playoffs. I think you got to keep some of that purity, but I like where it's at now. I do not, Austin. I live in Arizona, so I'm in the desert. The Milwaukee Bucks are literally the only team with futures in regard. Yeah, they just got Lillard, didn't they? So I'm assuming they got to be one of the favorites. Austin asks, I think we called up Kelenic too early in 2021. Do you agree? I don't know. I think he was ready. If you look at the minor league stuff, maybe they shouldn't have batted him leadoff right away, and then maybe they put a little too much on his shoulders right off the bat. I think there's always things we can second guess about it. But at the end of the day, like if Jared Kelenic doesn't pan out, it's on Jared Kelenic. He's the one that's got to, take those steps forward, in my opinion. Chris, welcome into the stream. He asks, would love to see the Mariners go out and get a Blake Snell and trade, as I've got a mosquito flying around me, that's lovely, and trade from their rotation for a good bat, maybe Pete Alonso or some of that level bat. I don't disagree. Would love Blake Snell. Would absolutely love it. I think they do need to add to the rotation. I don't know about trading the starting pitching depth. You may have to if you want to get Pete Alonso, because I actually think they need to add a starting pitcher. I don't trust Wu. I don't trust Miller. That I'm not down on Wu and Miller. But I'm not just handing them a rotation spot. Robbie Ray's not back until the All-Star break, maybe even longer than that. So I think you want to keep your pitching. I'm all for adding one. Would love Pete Alonso. I don't know if you can put together a prospect package for that or what you would need to do. But we'll see. I like the new format, but I saw 7-8 wildcard sweeps, 7 of 8 wildcard series have been 2-0 sweeps. Yeah, I mean, it kind of stinks there was no game 3, but just kind of is what it is. Then add another bat in the offseason, maybe one. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, Chris. Like, a big name, an Alonso, a Soto, Ohtani, and there's others too. There could be trades that, we don't know that are out there that are available, something like that. And then get another piece in there somewhere as well. And I don't really care what position outside of center field, catcher, shortstop. I think anybody is on the chopping block. I think it's put up or shut up time. If that's Ty, if that's Gino, if that's Kelenic, if that's who's ever at second base, who's ever in right field, go get it. They are the only the Bucks for the NBA, the only favorites right now. Austin says they hate the NFL added the 7th playoff spot. Yeah, it's kind of weird now with the 1 bye versus the 2 byes. Although Seattle was the 7th seed last year, and last year was a lot of fun. So I can't hate on it too much, but it's definitely a weird format now in the NFL. No disagreement there. Trade Judah, welcome in. Judah, hope you're having a good Friday night. Says trade Kelenic, Hancock, some middle infield talent, some other prospects for Jose Ramirez. I don't think Jose Ramirez is going to get traded. The Guardians just signed him to a long-term deal. He's really the only guy on that team. Maybe they reset, but I can't imagine they just sign him and then trade him away. I don't think you're going to be getting Jose Ramirez. Just my 2 cents on that. I'm all for that. I'm all for anything that can get these players in here. I'll overpay. If Jose Ramirez, Pete Alonso caused me to trade away guys I might regret, I'm okay with that if this can put this team over the top. It's put up or shut up time. And I'm not saying be stupid and just trade away and don't think about the future, but I think you've got enough, prospects so you can make this thing happen. Send Corbin Carroll. That would be great. I'd love Corbin Carroll here. It won't happen, but that would be awesome. Yes, Arizona, it's cool. How do you watch Mariners? NFL package and the MLB package. I have MLB TV and I have the YouTube subscription. Cal Raleigh, Mitch Garver, Tom Murphy. Is Mitch Garver a free agent? Pam Michael, welcome in, by the way. Appreciate it. That would actually be an interesting little pickup, Mitch Garver. I don't know if he's a free agent. I haven't even looked. at the free agent list yet. All I know is Shohei Ohtani's a free agent. I haven't even begun to dive into offseason stuff. I want to wait for the season to be over, and then I'll kind of look at it, but that'll be interesting. Trevor says, I read somewhere that Pete Alonso just picked up Scott Boras as agent. Yes, you're right, Trevor. I did read that. Still have to open his wallet if Alonso hits free agency. He's our next 3 years. Yeah, that's actually a great point there, Trevor. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Alonso is free agent 2025 with the arbitration eligibility with Scott Boras. That's probably going to keep him out of Seattle, honestly. But I appreciate that info. Thank you. Sunbob says JK has steadily improved. I think maybe his injury will cause him to focus on his game this season. We shouldn't be surprised given his competitive nature, drive to get better. He has shown all his life. Yeah, I listen. I think Kelenic, he had his best season clearly. And while I'm saying, outside of April still counts. That doesn't get taken away from him. It was a step in the right direction. I just don't think that, to me, outside of Julio, JP, and Cal, ain't nobody guaranteed a spot right now. You've got to look to get it better anywhere you can. And if that means trading Kelenic or doing something there, I'm okay with it. But I'm not at all against Kelenic being on the roster, and hopefully he can go from one step to another step. It's really annoying how AZ couldn't win one game against Houston, 2 runs in the whole series. TJ, welcome in, my friend. Hope you're having a good night. At the end of I would be more annoyed with that, TJ, if the Mariners had swept the Rangers. Like if the Mariners had won game 3, then I'd be a little bit like, Arizona couldn't win one. But since the Mariners didn't do it themselves anyways, like at the end of the day, Seattle's got no one to blame but themselves. But I hear what you're saying for sure. Collab with I think I'm subscribed to the Hawks Nest. I'm not sure. I really haven't reached out to many people on collabs. It's something I want to do more of in the off season with sports, to start doing more collabs with other people. Irish says, I like the 7th seed in the NFL. That way the 1 seed gets the only bye as reward for having the best record. I think that's fair. It just is weird. I always grew up on the 1 and 2 seeds getting the bye and the rest being wild cards. So it's just more of a weird thing, but that's a fair point. Samuel, welcome in. I hope you're having a good night. He says Shohei, a legitimate closer. I think they're okay in the bullpen. They need to add somebody. I don't put a ton of stock into like they need a closer. I think they've got enough good relievers. Paul Sewald was never a closer before Seattle, and he did fine. I think Munoz, a healthy Munoz next year, can be good enough to be that guy for them, or Matt Brash, or even Topa. I do think they could add a bullpen piece, and I think they will. They always do in the offseason. Totally fine with Shohei. If they want to fork out the money, I am 100% in on signing Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, Sunday Ticket is on YouTube. It's actually pretty good. They do a good job with it. But yeah, it's on YouTube now. Grew up on the 5. That's right. Yeah, it used to be 5. Yep. It was, I want to say 88, 89 when they switched to 6. Maybe, I don't remember, but yeah, it used to be 5 in each conference. The Stros on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was very, very similar. That's for sure, Trevor. I agree with that. Think Ryan, do you think, excuse me, I can't talk. Jude asked, do you think Ryan Bliss gets on the open day roster instead of Caballero? Truthfully, Jude, I have no idea right now. And I'm not saying that to dismiss your question. It's too early. They could sign a second baseman. You know what I mean? They could go out and, for all I know, trade for, who's a second? Now I'm blanking on second baseman, but they could go out there and get somebody that's a second baseman. It could be Ryan Bliss opening day. It could be Rojas. Right now, I think Ryan Bliss is someone that I'm definitely going to have an eye on through spring training and through the offseason to see if he could be someone that's an opening day type player. It's going to be, we'll have to see what they do in the offseason. Samla says, I think they need better than fine as closer. No, I agree. My point was, I don't think they need to just go out and find a closer, though. They've done, you don't need someone that just is a closer. You just need good relievers, and good relievers can become closers. I'm all for them going out and adding another reliever, but I think they have enough in-house guys that can be closers. I don't think they need to go out and sign someone that's like a proven closer. That's all I meant. Mariners need first, second, third base, DH, and 1 outfielder. I don't think they're going to, Austin, I don't think they're going to get all that. That's a lot of turnover in one offseason. I think definitely you want someone that's more a full-time DH. It doesn't have to be someone that's all DH, but like someone that is, a better option going into the season than what they had this year. So I definitely think that's going to be something they need to do. I think some of these guys will still be on the team. I think they could look at all those positions. I have no problem with them trying to upgrade all those. I have a feeling that one of Ty or Gino is going to be here next year. And then my guess would be second base is probably Rojas Bliss to begin the season. But Jerry's always got some weird stuff up his sleeve that we'll see. So those are definitely positions that they could upgrade. Jerry finna go out and get Adam Frazier back. And honestly, it probably wouldn't be the worst signing ever. Like, if they can go do other big things, I'm okay with that. I'm not against Frazier coming back as long as that's not the only thing that they do. I'm sorry if the connection keeps going out. My Wi-Fi has been terrible tonight for some reason. Trevor says, thoughts on Hollander saying Evan White will be ready for spring training. Evan White is my white whale, no pun intended. I still have hope for Evan White. He was a legitimate prospect. I'm not against giving him a shot. The problem is where they're at. Like, this team can't afford to be like, oh, let's give Evan White a chance at first base. They need guys that can push this team over the top. Like, 2020 was a great year for Evan White. I'm excited for him. I hope he can get back in there, and you never know, what he can do. I'm certainly not counting on Evan White, but I'm rooting for him because I've always been a big Evan White fan. And out of all the guys that this team has graduated prospect-wise, he's the one that just wasn't able to stick and then got the injuries and everything. So I'm rooting for Evan White. I just don't know, if he'll be actually a part of the equation. Gamer says, I just say first base, DH, and one outfielder. It's so hard because, like, again, to me, and I'm sorry, I sound like a broken record, guys, but catcher, shortstop, and center field are the only ones that I'm truly like, you're not upgrading there. You're not going to find anybody better. I am all for anywhere else if they can do it. Now, I don't think they're going to have like a new first, third, second, left fielder, right fielder. Some of these guys that played this year are going to be back. But they need to upgrade a lot of positions. They can find it. And if that's, a first baseman that's better than Ty France, then you do it and Ty France goes away. I love Eugenio Suarez, great leader, great defensive player, still has some pop. Hopefully that comes back a little bit next year. And I don't think it's going to happen, but if you get Jose Ramirez, then sorry, bye Gino. So I'm all for upgrading anywhere they can. Samuel says, my big problem is you need that shutdown bullpen arm on the left, from a lefty reliever. I think Spire at times was that guy. But I agree with that. I think they do need their bullpen arm for sure. They've just done a good job at that, so I'm not super concerned. I think they'll find somebody, but I definitely agree that they need another arm in there. Adam Frazier was great in the blue. Yeah, we forget, Frazier in 2022 didn't have a great season, but man, one of the biggest hits in team history came from him. Bradley, welcome in. Hope you're having a good night, my friend. He says, do you think we might get Sewald back? I would say probably not would be, I think Sewald, he has a club option or a player option for next year, or he's arbitration eligible for a year. I think he'll still be a Diamondback next season. Do you think, apparently I can't. There we go. Oh my gosh. Austin says, has Evan White been injured since 2021? No. So Evan White, he got hurt in 2021. He was sent down. He didn't play at all last year. He's been hurt off and on. I'm not even sure when he got hurt and when he didn't get hurt. It's been a shame because, like I said, I really like Evan White. I was, out of all the guys, out of all the prospects this team had come up, I was actually most confident in Evan White. I was like, Evan White is going to be a steady, everyday player. And man, it just goes to show you never know. You never know. And unfortunately, the injuries have been a part of it. Trevor, thank you, my friend. Appreciate the info. Arm for the next 3 years for Sewald. Yeah, I think Sewald's going to be staying in Arizona for a little bit. Thank you for the info on that. I truly appreciate you adding that. Thank you, Trevor. Trying to click on these comments, guys. I apologize. My computer's moving slow. Cool Breeze says, do we need one more left-handed pitcher in the rotation, or is one going to be enough? I think unfortunately it's hard to count on Robbie Ray. Even Jerry said all-star break, and that's probably being optimistic. I don't care too much about handedness as long as your pitchers are good. Sorry, my thing's going back and forth on the comments here, guys. I apologize. My computer just moved very, very slow tonight. Oh my gosh, come on. Okay, back to that one. Sorry, Cool Breeze. I as long as you have 5 good pitchers, I don't really care what hand the pitchers throw with. Now, with that said, like you look at a team like the Twins, who the Mariners would have faced in the first round of the playoffs. They mash right-handed pitching, absolutely mash righties, but can't hit lefties to save their lives. So it does help. I would say yes, I would like a lefty in the rotation, but as long as the rotation is good, I don't really care, too much about. Sorry, guys. My internet is really struggling right now. I hope this is not lagging too much for you guys. If it is, just let me know and probably call it. But yeah, my computer's moving slow right now. If Brash can load best relievers in baseball, I'm sorry, guys. This keeps going out. I might have to end this thing. I'm sorry, everybody. When Brash If Brash can locate, he's one of the best relievers in baseball. I agree, Jude, 100%. Sometimes Brash just doesn't know where it's going on films for him. So, but when he does know where it's going, man, he is lights out. I think I'm gonna have to end this, guys. I'm sorry, my internet. Could not be more ticked off at this right now. It's been great for weeks, and all of a sudden I do a live stream and it just keeps going out. Try to get to the rest of the questions. Samuel says Suarez is going to be at least consideration for a Gold Glove. Oh yeah, and listen, the one thing that kept Gino, going was that defense, even despite the offensive struggles. I'd much rather look to upgrade over first base over Ty than Gino. I'm okay with Gino being back. Would like to see the bat be a little bit better next year, but I'm okay with Gino being back. It's just, nobody, it's one of those nobody's safe type situations. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to these comments. Nancy says, last year for months, it was all about Aaron Judge with the Yankees. Will the Yankees sign him now? Be nonstop Ohtani talk. Something happens to him sooner than later. Free agency won't start for, when does free agency start? November? Something like that. But yeah, oh yeah, Nancy, it's going to be all Ohtani 24/7. Super lag. Yeah, sorry about that, Irish. It just, the internet is trying. No, I appreciate. Oh, I'm not giving up. It's just frustrating. My internet keeps going out. I know you guys are watching this, and it's losing, not losing people, but it's lagging and everything. But I appreciate that, Duke. Appreciate that, JJ. V, appreciate that. Always appreciate your believe comments that we had in the videos, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Man, I just can't click these comments. It's like so laggy. Hopefully it's not too laggy for you guys. Yes, hit the like button. Thank you, Cool Breeze. I appreciate that. Smash that like button, guys. That helps out the stream tremendously. So thank you very much, Cool Breeze. I appreciate that. If you guys have any more questions, go ahead. If you have any more questions, fire them off, and I'll try to get to them before I end the stream. Oh, you're very welcome, Trevor. Thank you guys for enjoying. It's enjoyable for me. And like I said in my video yesterday, my goal on my channel is never, I'm not here to try to be right about everything. I am going to get things wrong a lot. It's just more, it's nice to talk about it. It's good to have the community where we can go over things and discuss it, and really appreciate you guys as always. Manimal, hope you're doing well. My friend, I haven't seen you as much in a while. I'll be watching the stream, but won't be commenting. Well, you commented there, so I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, Animal. Irish says nothing wrong with the audio. Good. You guys don't need to look at my mug. Just need that. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Irish. The RCA Dome is in the chat. The stream lags again. I'm trying to hit these comments, guys, and it is just a struggle. Otani's destined to be a Mariner, just a natural city that welcomes Japanese. I hope so. I really hope so. I have my I have my doubts with the ownership group of the Mariners, but we will see, RCA. I certainly hope so. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. There we go. Duke Coda, Sports United, no matter the team. Amen. Amen. And listen, and I say this all the time when I get people that's, and it's rare. every now and then I get the comments of people that, and I swear there are some people that like want this team to lose, and that kind of drives me nuts because I get some people in the comments that I swear are like, okay, like, I'm all for being critical, but it's like you get people that would rather be right than have the team win, and that gets frustrating. And at the end of the day, we all want the Seattle Mariners to win. We all want them to win. We may have different ways to get there, but we all want this team to win. I want to do a World Series stream and celebrate a World Series win, and hopefully we will get there one day. Trying to go back to some other comments here. Pant Michael asks, Jay, hold up. What are your division series predictions? Okay, I will give the rest of my predictions. William, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you down there. Hope you're having a good night. I will give my division. I'll just give my predictions for the rest of the playoffs. In the National League, I'm going to take the Dodgers over the D-backs. I will take the Braves over the Phillies, and I will take the Braves over the Dodgers. I know that's very whatever. I'm going to take the Astros over the Twins. I'm going to take the Rangers over the Orioles. I'm going to take the Astros over the Rangers, the Braves over the, already took the Braves. So it'll be Braves, Astros. I'm going to take the Braves to win the World Series. I know it's not very unique, but that is my prediction for the World Series is Braves over Astros. William, good to see you, my friend. I hope you are having a good night for sure. JJV says, dude, I swear there are locals who want the M's to lose, but they still watch so many haters. Yeah, and listen, I'm all for people being critical of the team. I have no problem with that. But man, there are people, especially not so much on my channel. You go to Twitter and X, and I swear half of this fan base wants this team to lose so they can justify, like, you get these people that hate Jerry and hate Scott, and that's fine. Again, I have no problem with that if you hate those guys. It doesn't bother me. But there's so many people I feel that hate them, and then when the team loses, they do this. See, I told you. Like, congrats, you were right. The Mariners didn't get into the playoffs. I hope you are very happy about that prediction. It's one thing to be like, hey, I don't know if this team is good enough. I think that's fair to say. But yeah, there are definitely people that I guarantee are just, they'd rather be right than enjoy their team win. For sure. And I'm not saying people can't be critical. I've been critical of the team, but you know what I mean. Kind of iffy if I want the Mariners to win a title. Most of y'all will be insufferable. I won't be. I won't be insufferable. I'll still be humble. I'll still be humble, I promise. Star says Rangers over Orioles spicy. I had to have one prediction that was like somewhat off the cuff because I'm going through my head. I'm like, I picked all the favorites here, so I'll mix it up and give an AL West, ALCS. I could absolutely see the Orioles winning that series. So I don't know. I just had to have something that was slightly spicy. Animal, I'm getting your comment, Manimal. Miguel Cabrera, yeah, Miguel Cabrera retiring. End of an era, man. Cabrera's been around since I was in high school. Miguel Cabrera was the last active player that had an at-bat against the Expos. So there are no more ties in baseball to the Montreal Expos, unfortunately. So moment of silence for the Spos right there. If you guys have any other questions, fire. Looks like the stream's come back a little bit. The lagging is slowed down a bit. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I appreciate it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button as well. If you guys can do that for me, hit the like button on the stream. It just helps. If you just came in, we're having a little dish. And of course, I say this and the stream goes out for a second there. We're just having a little dish session. Mariners, Seahawks, whatever you guys want to talk about. Hockey. Just I didn't have any video ideas for today. So I'm like, I'll just do a stream. See what the crew is up to. See what you guys got on your mind. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Mariners for sure. And I don't want to get so tied in to just signing, like, you also have to be a little patient too, because it can't just be about, sign big names, sign big names, sign big names. I'm all for it, but we also have to take a step back and go, okay, like, let's say they had done that 2 years ago. Let's say their mentality was just sign a big name. We could have ended up with Trevor Story and Chris Bryant. That would have been a disaster to have those contracts on the books right now. They'd be unproductive players that would give us no flexibility for roster movement the next couple of years. So for all the, and I know there's that payroll Twitter part of it that just wants to spend. I'm there. Like, it's time to put this team over the top, but they also have to be smart with it too. You don't want to get tied into a contract that's going to destroy this team either. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Jerry and Justin have up their sleeves for the roster. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. JJV, I'm getting to your comment here once it loads. I clicked it. My stream must be lagging so bad that it's a minute later after I click it. How big will Cal's contract be, and does it change from the comments he's made? No, I don't think the comments will affect anything. I really think the Cal comments are getting overblown. I truly think he just meant, and I do, listen, the only thing I will say to be critical of Cal, and it's not to be, I have no problem with his comments. I wish Cal would have added, hey, and we needed to play better in September because we had a shot. We didn't do good enough. Cal talked about wanting to spend, go get players to put them over the top. They were in first place in September. Like, they entered that month in first place. If they would have played 500 in September, they would have won the division. So I do wish Cal would have said, like, hey, and we didn't play good enough. But it seemed very like, just on to the front. And ownership front office deserved some blame. But I do wish he would have said that. But no, I don't think the comments will affect his contract or anything. I truly don't think anybody in the organization has a problem with it. I don't even think Stanton really cares that much, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh, Stanton made him apologize. Guys, did John Stanton even watch the game? So, no, I don't think that'll affect his contract. Now, Scott Boras being his agent, that can make it a little dicey. We'll see there. And I'm getting your comment here. Let's check it out once it loads. Have you seen this new Sounders crest and Jimi Hendrix and Bruce? No, I have not. That sounds pretty cool, though, but I have not seen it. But that sounds interesting. William, welcome in. Hope you're having a good night, my friend. Theo Epstein can make his mark by taking over the M's GM, taking the World Series, make history, taking 3 lackluster teams to the World Series. Where is Theo right now, actually? Is he still in Boston? I don't know where Theo Epstein is right now. We'll see. It's going to be Jerry's job for 2024 for sure, and we'll have to see what happens in the offseason there. Duke asks, am I going to the Hawks game on January 7th? I will if the game, this is going to sound weird, I will go if the game doesn't have any meaning. If the Seahawks have clinched a playoff spot and they're locked in, I'll go. I do not like going to football games usually. It's hard because I'm a pacer with football. That's why I haven't done any football live streams yet. I am walking around, pacing, walking back and forth during football games. I cannot sit still and watch football, let alone in a stadium where I'm sitting like this. It's hard. So if Seattle's like locked into a playoff spot or they're eliminated, I'll probably go. But if there's like any question, I'll watch it from the comfort of my home. And then going to visiting stadiums and football, always a little dicey. Arizona's not too bad, excuse me. But yeah, it's a little spicy going to road games. Oh, hold on, the Animal says the Tigers didn't make the playoffs. They showed some improvements though, Animal. I think you got some stuff to build on. They were hanging tough in the middle of the year. RCA Dome, I'll get to your comment. The best thing for the Mariners to do is nothing. I think they need to do something. Unless you're talking about them getting in their own way. That's definitely a possibility. Theo is an MLB consultant, so he just works for the MLB now. Is that what he's doing? TJ, who do you want to win the World Series in order? Arizona, Phillies, Baltimore would be the only 3 teams I think that I'd actually be like excited for. That would be it. William says 3 teams in the highest MLB payroll miss plus. Exactly. And that's why it can't just be spending for the sake of spending. I saw some on Twitter the other day. I know I'm always pointing at Twitter here, and I need to stay off of Twitter, saying that like, oh, I wish we had Mets ownership. I get it from the standpoint of, hey, the Mets are willing to spend. The Mets were a disaster this year. Like, people forget the Mariners did win 88 games. They were a good baseball team. It's just, how can the Mariners get from good to great? I don't want to be the Mets. Like, that's a mess. That team's a disaster. I don't want Mets ownership. I want ownership that's willing to spend a little bit more and a team that's going to go out there and get it and put this team over the top. And was the 12th man to like, oh, there we go. Well, I appreciate it, Dog Catcher. I'm glad you found my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for the like. 12th man. And I like your Blazers. I'm not a Blazer fan, but I like the logo. Seahawks are 6 or 7 seed. Yeah, I think you got to favor the Niners to win the division for sure. So I think that's fair. Bring in Tito Francona to manage these softies. I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, and here's my thing with managers. And this is going to sound so blasé or whatever you want to say. I don't know how much impact baseball managers really have. As long as they're not like so at odds with the players, then I think all managers are kind of the same. Like, I don't think like Bobby Thompson's doing anything special or different in Philadelphia. Dave Roberts is doing anything different than Scott would do. So that's kind of my take. It's the team that's got to win. Now, if there are managers like Phil Nevin that are just straight trash that are obviously holding their teams back and down. But other than that, and that's kind of my defense of Scott. It's not that I think Scott is some like amazing manager that's setting the world on fire with his innovation. I just think in general, it's I don't think a new manager would change anything. I think you'd be seeing the same stuff. Arizona in the World Series would be fun. Yes, it would. Arizona Baltimore would kind of be what I'd like to see in the World Series. I'm not sure how much fans would like that one, but it's something that I'd be down with. Cool Breeze says Hawks win the West, Niners. I'm down with that. Hey, I mean, listen, Seattle still plays the Niners twice. Never know. Right now, the Niners look like the best team, but it's this. How are the Seahawks going to be higher than a 60 there? Well, I mean, it's not a lock that they're not winning the division. They're a game back. I don't anticipate them winning the division. I would favor the Niners, but I wouldn't act like it's not like the Hawks are 0-4 and the Niners are 4-0. If Hawks beat them, they certainly have a shot at it. See, let's go back to, I wanted to read Williams' comment. Jared Twillman, MLB hired Epstein as a consultant for on-field matters, private equity from Arctox Sports Partners. I don't know I don't know what that is, but okay, interesting. Thank you. Well, I appreciate the info on that because his name I certainly haven't heard in a while is Theo Epstein. So thank you, appreciate it. 49ers picked up Randy. Yeah, that nice move for the Niners. He'll get 5-6 sacks there with the talent on that D line. He can definitely, he'll definitely help. Mariners mess around with the line of pitching too much. It could be a step backwards. I mean, I don't think it'd be a step backwards. They need to add. They can't run out the same team they ran out this year. That 6 through 9 with Moore, Caballero, Haggerty is not good enough to win a playoff game, in my opinion. They need to add. I wouldn't go so crazy where you're trading. They don't need to blow it up or anything, but they need to add some things for sure. I'd give a lot of things that have 1990s Pinellas. Yeah, and unfortunately, it just the days of those managers are just gone. Everything is so player controlled now that it's just like back in the 60s, 70s, guys like Vince Lombardi used to they would tell a guy, listen, you're not sold out for the team, go home, hit the showers. You can't do that stuff today with players. The players make the money, they control everything. In fact, now you got players getting coaches fired. So, I'm with you. I miss those days. I miss Sweet Lou. But, all the managers nowadays are more these calmer, kumbaya type situations. Yeah, exactly. We haven't played the Niners yet. I think the Niners are the better team for sure, right? And I'm not trying to be like, it's going to be hard for the Hawks to beat the Niners. But until the games are played, we don't know. And the Hawks are playing great right now. They're 3-1. Niners are 4-0, so there's still everything's still right there for the Hawks to make a run. Yeah, I don't think they need to RCA reset anything. I think the core is here. I think the core is solid. They just need to put the right pieces in place to put it over the top. To get it to the next level for the Seahawks. All right, so far it looks like the Panthers drafted the wrong quarterback. Well, and they also traded away. They don't have their first round pick this year. So it's just, they traded it all away and DJ Moore for Bryce Young when they might have had a shot at Caleb Williams. So we'll see if that's the right decision for the Panthers. JJV says, bring back the Sonics. Someone wrote on an NBA team. Our region is such great NBA talent. Yeah, it sucks not having an NBA team in Seattle. Just doesn't feel right. Lou Pinella's got to be 80 something now. Yeah, got to be some Lou. There you go. Trevor always brings it. Lou is 80. Thank you. I was like, Trevor's going to have the answer down here somewhere. The Manimal. My predictions are Lions for Super Bowl, Jared for MVP, and Monron. But you know what? Lions team looks good. They did lose to the Seahawks, but that's a good Lions team. I don't blame you at all for thinking they have a chance. They absolutely do. Pinella kicking during the umpire's shoes, throwing his hat during Tired's pretty much court. Oh, me too. The same. That was my childhood right there. It's so funny because I was a kid I thought Lou Piniella was some super mean guy. I was like, so I was, 6, 7 years old watching the Mariners. I was scared of Lou Piniella. I'm like, so I told my parents I didn't want to go to a Mariners game because Lou Piniella scared me. I'm like, he's going to yell at me or something. Like, no, he's a baseball manager. It's what they do. So fun times. I miss that innocence of watching games like that. And you know what I mean? Just having that. I didn't care if they won or lost. I just wanted to watch some baseball. Dog catcher says Sox and Ghost should never left pack. I agree. Vancouver Grizzlies. That was I remember the old logo with the Grizzly with the ball in his hand. Man, I agree with you. I agree. Also, I'm glad the 49ers rivalry is kind of back. Same. Definitely one of the best rivalries in the game. And for a while there, that was 2012, 2015. That was the rivalry. I agree. Austin with the Lions. They are, obviously they're in the NFC. So I wouldn't say I'm rooting for them. I kind of root against every NFC team, but they are definitely, I have a lot of respect for Dan Campbell and how that team is built. I like that Lions team. If it's not Seattle, I hope Detroit wins. Remember my dad getting excited saying, oh, he's about to go yell at the umpires. Yep. You knew you were getting that big, Steven, hope you're having a good night. You're getting that big Lou Piniella blow up. You knew it was coming. You know what I mean? So, I miss those days. It was more fun back then, to watch the games. And now, you still get some, but with all the challenges and stuff, and I'm all for it, like, let's get the calls right, but you just don't have quite that, that obvious missed call. I remember that one, there was one in the late 90s where Lou was out there arguing in Cleveland. You see Griffey just laughing in the dugout at it, like, because Lou was just going off. It was great. Last weekend, I went to Michigan versus Nebraska and saw Mount Rushmore. Wow, busy weekend for you, Animal. Hope you had a good time at the game, my friend. Hope you enjoyed it. I'd say the rivalry is alive with the Niners. Only the Seahawks can win the game. Yeah, Drew, I agree. I think that's a good point. I was actually going to add, I was going to say, it would be nice if Seattle could win one because it's not a rivalry until, if one side's dominating, essentially. And we have not beaten the Niners. I mean, we beat them a couple of years ago, but that was kind of the end of the Russ era and everything. I think we got to get them one, got to get them once this year. I'm hoping we beat them in Seattle. I'm assuming you're not going to sweep the Niners, but maybe a split. And then that rivalry is back. And when they would show Lou in the dugout, hiding in the car, smoking a cigarette. I miss the cigarettes in the dugout too. Lou Piniella picked up a base. Yeah, exactly. William, those are the best, the rants, even the umps were probably laughing. Animal and Hawk of LOD. UW football, it's our time. I wish I was a UW football fan. Ton of respect for that team. Unfortunately, I went to ASU, so I'm an Arizona State fan that they are trash. So I'm rooting for UW. I hope for you guys that the Huskies, man, that Huskies Ducks game is going to be fun. That's going to be going. We got 5 minutes left here, guys. I'm going to finish it up. Thanks for joining us. It's been a lot of fun just chit-chatting. Thanksgiving is the game I hope we win. Yeah, same. If we can win Thanksgiving, I mean, like I say, I'll be fine with a split, but then when we go to San Francisco, I'm going to want that dub. But I'm with you. If you can get a split, and hopefully they win on Thanksgiving night, that my turkey will taste a little better with the Seahawks win if they can play that. Yankees fans saying the Astros are their rivals in terms of Hawks. Well, the Hawks and Niners are legitimate. I mean, we go back. I mean, the Hawks have beaten the Niners plenty of times, just not recently as much, as they did back in the day. Did you play any sports as a kid? Yeah, I played all the sports as a kid. I was in everything. I did baseball, soccer, basketball. And then junior high, I played basketball and baseball. And in high school, I played football. And I ran a little track and field my freshman year. That was more to help with football. It was just a good conditioning program, essentially. Was never good enough to play baseball or basketball past junior high. It was just football, which was a lot of fun. I miss it. I am the awkward position having gone to the Rose Bowl and the Huskies were there versus Ohio, but interesting, Trevor. So are you in for the Cougs then? Cougs have been a good team too. The state of Washington's got some great college football. Gino has something up his sleeve. I like it. Me too. Let's get there. We got a long way to go before Turkey Day for the Turkey Day game, but that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That's right, Animal. You will be having a good Thanksgiving because your Lions always play on Thanksgiving. You are very welcome, William. Thank you for joining me, my friend. I hope you are doing well, and enjoy your weekend, my friend. Thank you for stopping in as always. And thank you for all your support for my channel, my friend. Never did karate. Never did that. And then I did swimming so funny story about swimming, not to go on a tangent here. Yes, I did do swimming lessons and stuff as a kid. So me and my buddy were training for football one off season, and we went to the gym to work out, and he wanted to do swimming. He was like, let's swim as a workout. And honestly, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I never really knew about competitive swimming. It's funny because my wife did do competitive swimming. For me, it was just like swimming was sitting by the pool and hanging out. So I'm like, dude, let's go swimming. Heck yeah. So we start doing laps and we do like 10 of them, and I'm dead. I'm like, I want to go hit the weight room. That is so much easier than swimming. It was the most tiring workout I ever did. I got a newfound respect for swimming after that. Crazy how Geno was he's a Jets QB, a Giants QB, a Chargers QB, and it's funny, with Geno's, we look back now that we've seen the success Geno's had, it makes you realize what a dumpster fire that Jets team was. They threw Geno in his rookie year. He was a very raw young rookie with that Rex Ryan team that didn't have any talent around him. So, it's you look back on and you go, Geno just never really got his chance. I like Geno coming out of West Virginia. I didn't think he was, nothing. I thought he was a legitimate prospect coming out, and he's, definitely shown it in the NFL. Yeah, you miss that camaraderie, right, Irish? Like, there's just something about those that, you're playing for the love of the game when you're at that age. Exactly, Gamer. Well said. The Jets couldn't develop him, and then he just kind of stuck as a backup and just never really got an opportunity. He goes to New York where he's behind Eli Manning, who, isn't going to give up his starting job, obviously. Then he's in San Diego, Los Angeles with Phillip Rivers, and then he's in Seattle with Russ. So just never really got a chance to shine. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, RCA. Thank you very much for the kind comments. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, swimming is hard. I found found respect for it that day doing it as a workout, because I always thought, I'm like, oh, swimming, get the pina coladas and let's sit by the pool. I'm like, no, that's not swimming. That's drinking and being lazy. William, Navy, well, first of all, as always, thank you for your service, William. Man, I'm sure the training for that was insane. Absolutely insane. I've seen some of those Navy pools and stuff. Just incredible. Kylan, welcome to the chat, my friend. Hope you're having a good night. I think JSN is a breakout game here after the bye. Maybe Pete schemes up something over the break. It's probably the one thing that this offense just hasn't done well yet is get JSN involved. My theory on that, and I hope I said it right, is it Kylan? I hope I said that right. I think right now it's going to sound like an arrogant thing to say as a Hawks fan. There's just so many weapons on this team. So many weapons. You've got DK, Tyler, Parkinson, Fant, Walker, Charbonnet, Disley. And right now, I just think there's not a lot of targets to go around. So I think JSN will be fine. And he's still coming off that wrist injury, so maybe he's still working his way back into it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I think he'll be fine. I'm waiting for that breakout game, though, for sure. Hopefully it's coming soon. Animal says, I have to make a huge presentation on a whole company of wildlife experts. You got this, man. Definitely wishing you luck. You got it, man. No luck needed. You're going to knock it out of the park. When Cross and Lucas are, that's a good point too. Protection will be a little bit better. That should help. I think Curhan and Forsythe have done tremendous, and they've proven they are legitimate, depth pieces in this league. But that'll help for sure. You were young. Well, we were all a little younger at one point, right, William? But again, thank you for your service, my friend. I didn't know Ray is supposed to be out until the All-Star break. Yeah, that's what DePoto said in the press conference was All-Star break. I figured my guess would have been like May. But yeah, so that's going to be, they're going to have to go in with, you're almost going to have to plan to not have Robbie Ray and then just hope that, hey, look at Robbie Ray like this. We go into next year, do your thing, and then at the trade deadline, you get Robbie Ray back. So that's how we'll have to look at that. Drew says, it feels like Drew Lock built good chemistry with Jason in preseason. Geno just needs to get more targets. Yeah, I think right now they're just kind of, I think they're struggling on how to use JSN a little bit. And Waldron's done a tremendous job this year, so I'm not at all trying to be critical of it. But I do think that could be something too. Geno didn't get as many reps with JSN. And then JSN had the injury. So there's a lot of things going into it. I'm not super worried about it. Like I said, if this offense was doing putrid, I'd be way more like, why aren't we getting our first round pick involved? But the offense has been fine. So, as long as the offense is cooking, it's kind of hard to complain. And I'm not saying you guys are complaining. I'm just saying that's my thoughts on it. I think it'll happen, though. I think he'll get going as the season goes along. Well, thank you, Lon. I appreciate that. I appreciate and your humbleness too, man. Thank you. Dog Catcher says best wishes for optimal. Yes, for the Manimal. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys for all being in here. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that like button. There's 32 people in here. You get 32 likes on stream. Hit that sub button. I'm not sure how many subs away I am from 2,500. Let's check. I haven't checked the stream here. I am 38 subs away. So if you guys can go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subbed, I appreciate it. I'll take the last couple questions here if anybody's got any. And then it is 9:30. I got to go to work on Saturday. So Lem, welcome in. The Lem is in the chat. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome in. Perfect timing. We're just finishing up. So there's no more questions or comments or anything you guys want to get out there. Not much going on in Seattle sports this weekend. Seahawks are on a bye week. They need the bye week. They need it with the injuries. You got Jaron Reed banged up, Phil Haynes, Damian Lewis, Cross, Lucas still, Gino. So it's a good bye week, but it stinks. It's awesome. Last time I was here in the chat was completely different. Yeah, it's really cool getting a lot of new people in here, Animal. But you, William, Trevor, a few others have been in here. Irish, you guys, Hannah, have been in here from the beginning. So I truly appreciate that. Thank you, JJV. I appreciate it. I believe, listen, trust me, even if the Mariners do nothing this offseason, I will cope myself into believing they will win the World Series at some point. So trust me. Yeah, I work Tuesday through Saturdays. So I'm off Sunday, Mondays. It's actually really nice because I can kind of have a fun football Sunday and I get to take Monday off. Ooh, Irish on hour 2 of 16 at work. Well, have a good one, my friend. Stay safe, stay awake. And have a great night, my friend. And listen, I'm not rooting for the Astros necessarily, but good luck to your guys tomorrow. Yeah, Flick's still around. He's been in the live streams, so he's still around. Appreciate that, Trevor. Thank you very much. Thank you. I enjoyed the chat as well. William, thank you, my friend, for being a supporter. Same with Trevor. Let me get to the last few questions here. What are the 3 major free agents like the M's to target? You know what, Drew? I have actually not dove into the free agency too much. Ohtani for sure. And I'm going to do a video on that. I haven't even looked at the free agent class. I know it's kind of weak outside of Ohtani. So can I put Ohtani 3 times? Does that count for you? I will have a video up on that in the offseason, though. Lem, thank you, my friend. Take it easy. Thank you for joining. Do you think Munoz needs to learn a new pitch? He did throw some more 2-seamers, some sinkers this year that look pretty good. So maybe that sinker will be kind of his third pitch reflect, along with the slider and fastball. Dog Catcher says WHL hockey started when so many Portland Winterhawks games back in the day. I don't know, is WH minor league, but I know those kind of minor league hockey games are a lot of fun to go to for sure. Big time. Can't watch any football of a doubleheader baseball game. Well, enjoy, man. Best of luck. You've got a busy weekend, Animal, so best of luck to you, my friend. Appreciate that, Lem, man. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your support. You've been here for a long time, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you, Animal. Thank you for all the support. Have a great night, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Have a great weekend. And go Mariners and Seahawks. Taiwan Walker signed the hat. My kids got him to sign it at the Diamondbacks-Phillies game this year that we went to. Gotcha. It's a junior high league. Man, it's got to be fun to go to for sure. That's got to be a lot of fun. Hockey at any level is fun, but that's awesome. Oh, thank you, Reflect. You didn't have to. Thank you very much for that super chat. I really, truly appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the streams. I know I'm saying that to everybody, but Samuel, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for all the support. It truly does mean a lot to me. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but truly appreciate it. Have a great time with you guys. You guys make it easier for me, and that's why I wanted to start this channel, and truly, truly appreciate that. So have a great night, everybody. Go Mariners, go Hawks. Not a Huskies fan, but go Huskies, go Cougs for you guys, and have a great night. Peace.